We didn't say we're live. Oh, we live. Here we go. Wow. Well, I think we kind of knew this was coming after last night, right? We sort of knew what this day was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason we have how many content items up already? 6? Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. It's a pretty good indicator, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty good indicator. We'll let people kind of get in here before we like deep dive into stuff. Also,
yeah, my phone's still blowing up.
Oh, it's just, yeah. So by the way, as we get going, the team is meeting right now. So team, players, everybody that's left is meeting right this second, obviously, to talk about, hey, Hugh Freeze is not your coach anymore. DJ Durkin will be the interim coach. Questions, concerns, you know how those go. If anybody wants to say anything, and here's what's expected going forward, and all that stuff. So that's happening now, and we'll see if anything comes from that.
Probably, and we most likely will talk to Durkin tomorrow. Would be my guess.
Yeah, might as well just bringing him up there, man. Bring him up there. All right, we'll definitely take a bunch of questions. Whether they come in, Zach, if anything you want to plug in there or as they come or whatever. Hayden Harris, Hoke reporting and getting to church this morning. Wow. Yeah, shout out to me. I'm just kidding. Definitely was at church, got out of church. I'm in the lobby on my phone, starting, texting about potential coach meetings. And maybe it was Hayden. I don't know. It was so quick. Somebody came over and said, "Well, you got a busy day, man." I'm like, man, like I'm here, but I got to roll. What do you want to do? Do you want to do you want to back up real quick and just the last maybe 2 hours and then get into it, or do you just want to jump into questions or what?
Maybe give our opinions on was this the right move and where do we think Auburn's going next first, and then take questions.
Go for it.
All right. Yes, this was 100% the right move.
Okay,
that's all I wanted to say.
Any questions?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've never seen a more disaster on one side of the ball in Auburn history. Right? We were talking. I think Brian Van Gorder's defense in 2012 was a freaking disaster. And
yeah, but 98 was really bad, B-Matt.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I wasn't covering the team then, but yes, I do remember 98 well too. But man, for a guy that was supposed to be an offensive guru to be this bad at his job in year 3, when he has so much more talent than the guy he fired 2 years ago in Philip Montgomery, is just unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. The worst passing offense in the country, and how many millions of dollars was sunk into the quarterback room, the wide receiver room, and the 2 offensive tackles from the portal. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Unreal. Yes, he needed to be fired immediately.
Yeah, as far as I go, I was saying on the brain drain, I think it was the Missouri, and I was before that. I think it was the Georgia game. I said he's cooked. He won't be the coach here next year. And in this, you can play this game of let him stay as long as he wants to stay. I don't really care, but he was done. And this offense just the number I saw today, which is probably true. I haven't researched this, but it said that there's only 3 teams in major college football right now that have seen the one I'm talking about.
Yeah,
have not
haven't given up 24 points.
Haven't given up 24 points. It's Ohio State, Indiana, and Auburn. They're 17-0, and Auburn's 4-5. Just all you need is an okay offense, not a great one. Right. You don't got to have Cam Newton. Just okay. Yeah. And he can't even do that because he was too busy playing golf.
Yeah.
Let's be real about it. I'm not the big golf guy, but I think that's what happened. He just took it for granted. It's going to be just like it was at Ole Miss in 2014, and it ain't like that anymore. College football ain't like that anymore.
Nope. I think Hoke nailed it. I know he's talked about before, but just him talking about that attention to detail. Some coaches doing one thing, you kind of flying in there at whatever moment he flies in there and not knowing everything going on. I think that's a perfect example of what was wrong with this offense and this program.
B-Matt, the White Walkers came and got him, bro. Got him. All right. Well, he's gone now.
Yeah, he's
I wish DJ had more runway.
Thoughts.
I just wish he had a little more runway. Unfortunately, he's taken over around the same time that Brother Oliver did in 1998, who also is a coach that I wish could have had more runway. He's got a tough situation now with Vanderbilt, like right around the corner, and he's got to try to make sense. I don't know who's going to call plays. I'm looking forward to finding out about that.
I'll do it.
You mean the job?
Yeah, like, dude, you can like so much value right here.
Yeah. You can bring that, Hoke. I know you can.
So much value. I mean, you can save a lot of money. Listen, a lot of money. Listen, 4 verts. That and
4 verts. I love it.
What's the and the money play, halfback circle. Money every time receivers running routes, the running back does the little angle route.
Yeah, the angles.
Affordable. I'm gonna run that all day with Jeremiah Cobb. I don't know. I don't even know where to start. I have so many thoughts, but yeah, I mean, it had to be done. It was a tough deal. It was a tough deal. So Freeze and Cohen were meeting about, this all started to go crazy about 12-ish. And I was on the phone with Jay and I'm like, dude, and I don't know, whatever. But it was like, it was done. It was done then. Durkin was going to be the guy. Team meeting at 1, with the staff at 1:15. But Freeze got out of the meeting and texted me. He said, tough day. Love this place. Love the people.
Yep.
And I go, so that's a good, but I was like, dang. I was like, so are you saying it's done?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. Yes, sir. He said, yes, sir. So I don't know, man. I wish I knew Freeze. I saw the clips of him at Ole Miss. I was talking to somebody a little bit ago. I saw, I didn't cover Ole Miss then, and I just saw him as a coach there, and I saw, maybe old clips, and I knew the offense they had there. I knew the way they recruited, which was illegally, but he got after it. I wish I knew him more than I didn't know him at Liberty. After everything happened, then he kind of gets his second chance at Liberty. But I don't know, to compare this Freeze with that Freeze, because just the only version I know is this version. And there's the on the field stuff, which is just the stuff I've heard the last 2 years is malpractice, just absolute malpractice, the way he ran the offense. And there was other stuff. I mean, there's other just little detail stuff that wasn't even X's and O's on the field that he just would just not do. And you're like, I would talk to boosters about just little things they'd like him to do. Hey, we got this new guy that wants to be a part of it. Now he wants to start giving some money, kind of wants to be involved here a little bit. Will you give him a call, show him some love, right? Like get him into the fold? No. And you're like, why not? It's just stuff like that would go on. But I wish I knew Freeze then, because he just felt like, especially the last 2 years, like somebody that was so completely unsure of themselves. That's how he called plays. That's what he looked like on the field. That's how he came across in press conferences.
Yep.
And I just didn't know any other version other than that. And it always just threw me like, where's the guy that was just, literally doing whatever he wanted at Ole Miss? I don't necessarily want that entire guy back, but it just, I don't know. I wish I knew him then. Wish I knew. I mean, I think coaching wise, it was probably similar, but I don't know. He just felt like the last 2 years, he was a guy that was just so unsure of what was going on the offensive side of the ball. And
well, he got humbled in such a public way, right? Like a TMZ way, really, is the way things went down at Ole Miss. And he had to really grow a lot, I think, out of that. And I honestly think he did. And I think him talking about his struggles in pretty sordid detail, honestly, is probably a good thing. I think it's a positive thing. I think he's changed a lot of lives in a positive way for people who can look inward and try to find ways to be a better person. But I think his path toward being a better person and being redeemed made him a worse football coach. And I wrote about this in the column. It's on the front page of the site right now, which Hoke's already read, but anyway, because he proofread it for me. But it just, when he got so willing to let other people, he was giving people grace the way that he felt like he was giving grace. And when you do that as a head coach, I think you allow bad things to take root, or at least the potential of just not living up to a particular standard, right? Because you're giving kids a lot of grace, you're giving coaches a lot of grace. And if you do that enough, I think it could become problematic. And I think in this case, that's what happened. I think the standard, if you will, got to be a moving target instead of this is what we're going to do and this is what we expect from everybody every minute. And I think it just got mushy. And I think it kind of dovetails with what you were talking about, Hoke, the way that Hugh actually went about his job was a little odd. So in that way, I think it's kind of like the way Chiz went down. But I do think Hugh's a better man now than he was before, and I think that's to his credit. But just as a football coach, it ain't there.
Nope.
No.
He reminded me of Sleepy from the Seven Dwarfs this season.
Sleepy.
I couldn't help watching. It really became obvious last year when the struggles happened, and dealing with the Peyton Thorne stuff, and I would watch him, and I would watch how he would react to Peyton Thorne on the sidelines. I'm like, man, like not everybody's going to react. Like he just lose his mind over stuff and constantly complaining to the officials and looking I don't know. He just looked like a complainer and like a dude who was unsure. And I just couldn't help but watch that and go, and then I watch what happens with the offense time and time again, which is lack of execution, critical downs, late in games, stuff not. And I'm like, that is such a direct reflection. I mean, you have a coach that's unsure of himself, and sure enough, you have an offense that's unsure of themselves. Like it to me just seemed so obvious watching it. Anyway, I don't know. Let's get into some questions. Hugh's out. It's didn't he make it 3 years? I would say, like, I don't think the program, there's some good talent. Now who knows what the portal's going to look like? My gosh, like we don't know who's going to stay, go. All remains to be seen. Let's just get into some stuff. Realistically, how much of this current roster is retainable? That's a
good deal of it, I think.
Well, what's retainable? I mean,
she means what percentage of people can be kept?
100. I mean, but that's not real. That's not reality. So I don't know.
Well, Auburn damn near did 100 last year. I know it's going to be different with a new staff.
And I talked to Cohen in the summer, and he was like, we think we're in great position to retain like everybody we want to retain. Yep. Like, obviously this throws a wrench in that, or maybe it doesn't, but you're going to have some guys that are on offense for sure. They're going to go, what are we doing? I'm out. Defense, we'll have to wait and see. Does Durkin have a chance to get the job? If he does, the whole staff on that side of the ball is retained, a bunch of that talent, a bunch of the recruits. Probably one of your better bets to retain the most talent would be Durkin, but I'm sure that's not going to be.
Shoot, I bet Charles Kelly could retain a lot of dudes. No, I'm serious, man. You guys laugh.
I mean, he could. I know the people that are backing him. That ain't happening. Like, that's not happening. But I'm with you. There's an argument there that is sort of enticing for him, but it's a. Yeah.
I don't think you can make the same assumptions you would normally about retention because of NIL and revenue sharing now. That changes everything,
Yeah.
If you want to offer some kid $1 million to stay, he'll probably stay, But I do think a kid like Cam Coleman, unless they hire somebody who either runs a great offense or hires an offensive coordinator that runs a great offense, he needs to go and spread his wings somewhere probably. But we'll see. Like I said, money changes everything. So
y'all keep talking. Hold on.
Yeah, we'll just keep talking. That's good.
Let's
see. We got
Auburn. I think just put something up on their site. They have an official statement. Here's an official statement from John Cohen.
Ooh.
And Durkin will be the interim, as we reported. I have informed Coach Freeze of my decision to make a change in leadership with the Auburn football program. Coach Freeze is a man of integrity, and we are appreciative of his investment in Auburn and his relentless work over the last 3 years in bolstering our roster. Just that. Our expectations for Auburn football are to annually compete for championships, and the search for the next leader of Auburn football begins immediately. And that's it.
Okay.
So he says, by the way,
brief.
We're appreciative of his investment in Auburn and his relentless work over the last 3 years to bolster the roster, period.
Right. He did do that. So he deserves credit for that.
Like, that's it. There's nothing else mentioned other than roster.
Well, because his coaching sucked.
Yeah.
So that.
I called it incompetent in my column, and I think it was. I think Auburn's had back-to-back coaches that were incompetent in certain areas. Bryan Harsin was incompetent when it came to recruiting, building a roster, and putting a quality coaching staff together. He had some absolute clowns on that staff, and Hugh Freeze has just been incompetent in running an offense.
Sorry, I was texting there. I got people.
Yeah.
Getting up on me here.
But Kirk sent the same statement out, so that's it. Yeah.
Why is it so hard to find a coach that can coach? You don't got to be the best coach, but be a good coach, and someone who can also recruit. You don't got to be the best recruiter, just be a very good one. I think there's guys out there that can do that. I really do. I know them. You know them. I've covered them.
Yeah, I think the bar has been, set way too low for Auburn with these last two hires. I think Auburn is a much better program than this, and I don't think it should take much from its leadership to bring in somebody that's not incompetent in a certain major function of a football program. Right? I just don't think that's too much to ask for. And so that's where it starts, bringing some competency and some stability into this program moving forward. And let's see if maybe we can do some special things too.
I'd be cool with that. Someone in the chat saying Kevin Sumlin could be cheap right now. He's had some big wins.
Yeah, Auburn's going to pay the full buyout, 15.8 or 15 point whatever. It's about the same as it was Harsin. So back-to-back 15-ish buyouts. I saw Dellinger's tweet said, I guess they have like a running database of this, which is pretty impressive. But it looked like his tweet said that Auburn all time is up to $182 million in buyouts. But buyouts are also weird because it's like it's a buyout, but it's just paying his contract that you already agreed to. So I mean,
right,
you're gonna pay it anyway, right? Like they're gonna. That's what Freeze is, right? Or is it a percentage, or is that like what he was owed if he'd have just worked his contract out?
I just know it's $400,000 a month for however long that is, and the way it's structured makes it much easier for athletic department than it would be if it was had to play in lump sum as so many of these buyouts have been.
Hey, Hoke, were you saying earlier there's no way at Charles Kelly?
No, not no way.
I was just saying Chiswick got hired here.
Not no way, and I've heard that for. I mean, he was brought to Auburn for a reason, and he was that wasn't Freeze that brought Charles Kelly here.
Yeah, because he's popular with people,
right? No. I just think that would be a tough sell because Freeze was popular with people not named John Cohen. I mean, Freeze had boosters backing him that got him in the job. I don't know that we're going to go that direction again. No way. No, there's probably a way, but Cohen's job, man, promoted Stephen Pearl. Cool. Probably the right thing to do all in all.
Oh, he had to do it. He had to do it.
You better crush this one. I mean, and Cohen, I don't know, man. Like, I think the Freeze thing was different. Cohen was just hired. He was just here. He just got here. And you had some important people, boosters, saying, I'd like to hire Hugh Freeze. And, that's what happened. I feel like this is one where Cohen, I don't know, takes the reins a little bit. I don't know that Cohen's going to get pushed around on this hire. Everybody will have an opinion. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like Cohen's kind of ballsy enough. I'm not saying he's amazing or not amazing or whatever, but the move of the Baylor game was enough for me to go. He's got some balls. Like he went past some people to do that. He didn't really care what some people thought on that one.
Yeah. And this is his career-defining move, right? If this doesn't work out, he's not going to last at Auburn any longer. So he knows how important this one hire is going to be to him.
A big one. It doesn't get any bigger than making sure football's right.
Yeah, but I mean, you can look in the chat right now. Everybody's got a different opinion. There's people out here talking about coaches. I don't even know who they are. Like somebody said, who is Stein? Ben Stein? Who's Stein?
Stein's money?
Do you know a coach named Stein?
No.
No? Okay. I don't either. Like, it's like somebody's trying to come up with the most out of the way. there's a special teams coach at North Dakota State, and he's won 3 national titles, and he's produced 16 snappers. Like, nobody gives a shit. Like,
so
it's got to be a coach.
He's the coordinator. He's the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at Oregon. He's a guy that's pretty out there. Yeah.
So why would? Okay.
Right.
All right. So Auburn okay. Auburn candidate for the Auburn job. Okay.
No,
it's a big freaking job, man. Auburn needs to hire somebody who's good as hell, man. Like somebody who's been running a good program, period. I even think Glenn Schumann's a push, not because he's a bad football coach. I think he's a damn good football coach, but I still wonder.
Yeah. I don't love. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I've been thinking about this last month. I'm not super convicted on I don't know anybody. I mean, we obviously I've been staring at this hot board in the drafts for 3 weeks, but I mean, I don't know that there's a person out there that I'm like, I'm all in on that guy. I think that guy. Maybe it's just because the current landscape. I've watched a bunch of guys get hired over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And I'm like, oh, great hire. And it just tanks. And so I've seen a bunch of that. I don't know. I look around and there's been some pretty good success with getting the right assistant coming from a job, whether it's Lanning. I mean, Smart was assistant for a long time, obviously under the greatest ever, but who else? Ryan Day. Like there have been some guys, if you get them from the right program and they've been there long enough, there's a little bit of that, like they're going to bring that DNA in.
And Eli Drinkwitz obviously learning the trade under Brian Harsin. You can see how strong he turned out.
Yeah.
Good base. Learning how to.
Well, luckily Gus was able to really.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Get into him early. Yeah.
I like Eli. He's good. He's a good coach.
But he is a good coach.
He actually is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Sumrall and Eli are the two right now that
you
would think would be number ones.
Those are the names. Probably 3 weeks ago, it was like, but it's even changed over them. Those have been pretty popular. Lashley was popular, but looks like he's staying at SMU for now. He's happy there. I don't even like. I mean, if Auburn came to him and said, probably he would come, but he's very happy in Dallas. Like, I mean, he could dang near make the playoff better there every year than even at Auburn right now. I don't even know, but Sumrall drink. Kiffin, we put Kiffin on there, right?
Yes,
that's on there. Like I feel like that's a due diligence move. Like
because he's a damn good coach.
Yeah. But Cohen may want to take another run at him. He tried last year, but that's going to take an enormous amount of money. Durkin's going to have some support. Durkin's got booster support. I mean, he's going to have a little bit of that. The question we don't know what Durkin is, and I don't know this answer. What, if anything, does his Maryland, tenure, that whatever 2 years he was there, what's the impact of that with John Cohen, if any? It's a decade ago, almost a long time ago at this point, and he was cleared of a lot of that. But it was a rough couple years for obvious reasons. I don't know the impact of that. I don't know if Cohen's like, I don't know that I want to hire another guy where I kind of have to like explain why we did it, with a past, But other than that, a lot of cohesion. If you hire him, a lot of continuity. Great coach.
He was also 10-15 and 5-13 in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
However, that's a rebuilding program, so maybe year 3 he's about to explode. I don't know.
Yeah, where's he been since then? He went to Ole Miss A&M Auburn. Is that where he's been after? He was a consultant with the Falcons for a year. Okay. So, he's been 3 programs since then, done some good stuff. No, I won't. Have I texted Jimmy Sexton yet? Let me text it. Let me text Jimmy Sexton.
Yeah, let's get him on the horn.
I've got his number. I'm going to say, Jimmy, I'm doing a live show. You want to hop on for a minute? I'm gonna screenshot our hot board and send it to him. Be like, fair, unfair, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Let's see a couple other things in the chat. Chat's popping right now. We got a lot of viewers.
Yeah, toss anything you want in there.
Vin, great question. How is Cohen's job security looking? Not awesome. I don't think he's in danger of being fired right now. But the Baylor thing I thought was ugly. I thought he should have messaged better in that situation. And I think it's on brand for him. I think he's a bull in a china shop a lot of times, my opinion. And maybe that's good in some ways. You don't have to worry about an AD that just wants to have a bunch of meetings and not make any decisions. If you know what I mean.
Had plenty of those. Yeah.
Yeah, brother, I'm not going to give you 10 cents unless my steering committee tells me to.
I think job security. I think it's fine for now. I think the Baylor game was a hiccup. Chris Roberts has given him a lot of leeway to do his job, which is what you should do. If you hire people, they get to do their job. You don't need to micromanage them. If there's an issue, then step in and have it, talk about it. But Chris Roberts doesn't need to be micromanaging John Cohen. He has literally been like, you run it. I mean, he hasn't even been involved in a lot of stuff. Baylor thing was just not, yeah. I mean, it's one of those where you let him have leash, and then he goes and does something. You're like, whoa, hold up, wait, we're doing what? And so that didn't go over well. But other than that, I mean, that one and the NIL stuff, which is less really. I don't really, all the stuff in the summer about just wait till August 1 and this and that. Hasn't turned out.
Still waiting.
Prove right. Yeah, that whole strategy has not turned out to prove right. But I will say, like, not taking sides, but that whole NIL stuff in the summer to me was so all over the place. But I guess you can be right and wrong. There's a lot of schools that were getting after it, and Auburn wasn't. So that's just the truth of it. So
Peyton's got an idea here on the page. Got a wild one here. What about guys? Sounds crazy, but Florida State currently leads the country at 510 yards per game.
Yes, bud.
What Auburn needs,
I like Auburn,
is an offensive innovator, and there's a guy. There's a guy who knows Auburn. He knows the SEC. Will any position coach be fired along with Freeze? No clue as of right now.
I would say
probably
yes.
Not. You think
I think
yes?
they're going to shift some dual. I think they'll shift somebody around. Yeah, I think the offensive line needs to be shifted around. Darren's a great coach too, working behind Jake. So I won't be surprised to see that happen.
Yeah, I don't know about the play calling, coordination, all that stuff. If that needs to be switched, find some young guy with some good ideas for the last 3 games.
Who, Jesse?
I don't know. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Because at this point, if I were Durkin, I would say, okay, Knicks, nah, we're good, and Austin, we're good. So that really might take it down to Jesse. I mean, honestly,
yeah. I don't know if they're going to do. I don't know yet. I mean, that's sort of the next question is, what does Durkin do? I mean, does he? Remember when Bobby Petrino took over a few weeks ago? He just cleaned house on the defensive side of the ball. Does Durkin just go, okay, offensive side of the ball, you may leave.
Appreciate y'all.
But you only got 3 games left. I mean, it's like, what if you're Durkin, do you really want to be like, all right, you're gone. I got 3 games. Let's get some analysts in here. Let's just that would almost be, I don't know, man. Unless there's something egregious in I have to fire this coach because he is so inept or incompetent that he has to go. If it's just you got 3 games, you do that, man, the players are screwed. I mean, practice is just in disarray. Who knows who's calling plays? Who's coaching me at practice? The players would be, especially on the offensive side, I feel like would get just jobbed if you just fired a bunch of guys on the side of the ball and just said the last 3 games would be a joke on offense.
One thing you could do, though, is put Deuce Knight in charge. He can play 3 games in a bowl game, not lose his eligibility. We already know exactly what we're going to get from Jackson Arnold. That's a waste of time. I think Ashton, even though this offense was terrible, right, and it's not all on them, but I don't think Ashton is going to, make a case to be Auburn's starter to bring him back next year to be the guy. Yeah. It just makes a lot of sense to me hey, let's hand it over to Deuce and show what he can do. Give him an opportunity, a real opportunity with the first team.
I'm on board. You're not wasting anything with Deuce. You're not going to burn one of his eligibility years. So let's just see what's up, man.
Yeah. And if you're Freeze, you're Freeze needed to win. And then he was worried about, if I toss Deuce out there, we're probably not going to win. But now it doesn't matter. Now it's, if you're Durkin, whatever. If you're Durkin and you're like, I have got a shot at this head coaching thing. I got a shot here. And if I've got a shot, I wouldn't mind having Deuce in that room next year. So I'm going to play him and get on his good side and be like, hey, I'm gonna play you, dude. So I don't want you to go anywhere.
And with Freeze, that's making the assumption that he knew what was going on at quarterback and he had a good idea of which quarterback was the best on the roster, and I'm not sure that was the case.
Right.
The quarterback shuffling. Right. Gosh, I can't believe I watched that again.
I know Eric Kresser and Jesse back in the day at Florida.
I watched it last year, Thorne to Brown to Thorne, and then we just did it again, and we took it a step further. We put Ashton, Jackson to Ashton to Jackson, back to Ashton. It was incredible to watch, and I don't know, I didn't love it. It was like another chance for Freeze to kind of go, well, we just can't figure out the quarterback thing. Like it just, it's like
it's just so close, guys.
It just put more onus on the quarterbacks. You know, it opened the door for him to go, we just cannot find the right quarterback, guys. Oh man. Dream hire, realistic hire, worst hire. Is this like never mind. It's like I'm not even gonna say it.
I guess the dream hire would be
Dan Lanning.
Yeah, Dan Lanning. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Oregon coach. Yeah, Dan Lanning. Yep, definitely. Young, coached at Georgia, has that experience. Really good, great attitude. Yeah, fans would love him. Yeah, would be a great hire.
Who's your dream hire, Jay?
Well, I've been on this rant on the brain drain where I think you need, in my opinion, the next Pat Dye. So what I'm saying there is I want someone who's fucking tough, man. Like it's gonna beat somebody's ass if they screw up. Like gonna scream at him and call him names. It's okay, guys. So for me, I need a tough guy. I need Jon Sumrall. I need Alex Golesh.
Dream hire? Your dream hire?
What? Bill Belichick's not any good anymore, bro. Well, Andy Reid's not coming.
We said Dan Lanning. That's not going to happen, but we at least said Dan Lanning.
Dream. Got dream big, brother.
I don't want Dan Lanning. I mean,
he doesn't have to be, but so Alex Golesh is your dream hire.
I would say Jon Sumrall is my dream hire. Yeah.
Okay.
Really? Although I think he's amazing. I think he's a great coach. I think he's kicking ass. Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
He's from Huntsville, Alabama.
Zach, just clip this and book it.
He went to a pretty good school in Lexington, Kentucky, the second best school in Lexington, Kentucky, University of Kentucky.
Oh, here we go.
And he's tough. He wins a lot. The Auburn fans would love talking to him and seeing him, and he's just a stud, man. So,
I do think they'd like him.
So he's my realistic hire.
He's your realistic hire.
He's your favorite realistic hire? Oh, you're asking me?
No, I'm saying that's my realistic hire.
I got you. Yeah. He's good. I like Alex Golesh too.
The Sumrall, Sumrall would be fine. Again, he's somebody that until 5 minutes ago, I know who he is. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. I just, I think he fits some of that physical tough guy. I've watched some of his interviews. I think he's got a good personality. I think Auburn fans would like him. I think any fan base would probably like him. I think he's a likable guy.
Clark Lee might be a dream hire. Make sure he's got a quarterback though.
And do you want Tim Beck and Jerry Kill with him?
Yes, I do. I like Jerry Kill.
Do I go pay Poppy as a 30-year-old?
Probably can't keep him.
Bring him.
Get him for a couple more years.
Yeah.
Realistic hire, I would go. I'd probably lean Sumrall. I have not been. I can't get on board with Drink really. I like he's doing a good job. It's not like he's not doing a good job at Missouri, but I don't know. I don't love Eli Drinkwitz as a head coach. Really, really good, pretty good. I don't. Plus, I think the fan base would go. They would feel like you went from Malzahn. Harsin was an offensive guy, but Malzahn, Freeze, him. That's 3 year last 4. Man, that would feel a lot like a Freeze or Malzahn hire, and I don't think the fans want that at all.
Yeah, no appetite.
So that probably is sitting with me as well. Kiffin's not. That's not going to happen. Who do we get goals? I'm with you probably on Sumrall. Listen, I'm about. I don't know if I'm not at the same place with Sumrall and Durkin. I might give Sumrall the edge because he's been a head coach at Tulane. He's doing a good job. Durkin, but I'm not far off from thinking that Durkin would be a really good hire. I think the continuity thing plays a big part for me. I know he's a good recruiter. He's a damn good defensive coordinator. So I think the continuity thing with Durkin is probably what I like where you're not half the staff's done. Defensive staff stays. You're good there. You just just think that you potentially could keep this thing moving a little bit, maybe retain some of the talent you have versus just kind of maybe a flip the tables, new coach, everything starts over kind of situation. But that's not bad. I mean, you got to go with the guy, and whatever happens, happens. If you got to turn it over and start over, so be it. But I don't know. Durkin's he's extremely organized, extremely intense. I mean, you want to talk about an intense, physical, all that stuff you're preaching, Jay. Like, we go to practice.
No, I know.
Durkin gets after it. I mean,
I'm good with that.
People that watch practices are like, now granted, it's not hard to be different from the offense, but it was like watching two teams. It was just constantly. It's like two different football teams.
I like Durkin. I like him a lot. He's definitely the tough guy that I want. Yeah.
It's like the offense guzzles NyQuil before they go out on the field.
We would go to practices like we go on, when we go on Thursdays. Well, Jay, you're never there on Thursday when we just get the few minutes with Freeze. But when we go in, we get to go at the end. We don't get to watch Thursday practice. We just walk in. The practice is done, is finishing up, and we go get Freeze. And like every time we go in, you look over. Practice is finished, right? So they're walking off. We're doing whatever they want to do, and you look over, and like the whole defense is over here, like playing one-on-one football with each other, like goofing off, having fun, like they're a close-knit group. Yep. And then you're like, where's the offense? Oh, they've already scattered and they're walking off the field.
Yep.
And they're gone. And the defense is still over here having fun and doing something fun for 10 minutes before they leave. And the offense is they're just gone. They're walking away. The practice is done. And it was like, man, that I was just watching that alone. I was like, these are two different things. These are two different things.
100%. We got a super chat came through from Noel. Says, are these NIL deals with players 1-year agreements? Some are and some aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought they were going to all 1-year agreements. I mean, they're obviously all with the university. So nobody's getting out of it because Freeze got fired. It's going to be interesting to see because some of these new ones are going to have buyouts in them. So if Texas wants Cam Coleman, you're paying Auburn's collective $1 million. Then you're paying Cam Coleman. So I'm curious to see. This is kind of the first offseason, right? Maybe this is the first offseason where these buyouts are a thing. Damari Austin, they're a thing. But we'll see, like if they
hold up in court. Right?
They hold up. Auburn thinks the Austin one will hold up. Obviously, Damari and his people think no, but.
I mean, Auburn should cut. Well, I guess for Auburn's, they think he should pay back the money that he is not here for. Right, I understand that, but that's a shame. I just think they should have handled the whole thing differently. But that's just me. I understand that. I get it.
Someone in the chat was asking about Jeff Brom's contract. According to what I'm reading here, it's very modest. His buyout is. And he's making around about 5.5 right now.
Brom, yeah. Where does his name is going to be hot at Penn State probably?
Yeah, but he is from Louisville. So I played a Louisville Male.
Just Sumrall's been from Huntsville. He's been at the top of the list for a while. For weeks, he's been the guy. Like he it feels like if that's who Auburn wants, if that's who John Cohen wants, if that's the guy, what's the scenario where he's not at Auburn? I mean, LSU, Jay and I think we agree. Like, there's been some scuttlebutt that they're like, I'm not sure we want to hire a Tulane guy. Kentucky, the whole Kentucky Stoops thing, by the way, his buyout is crazy.
Yeah,
like they're talking about like firing him, but I'm also like, but y'all are going to owe him so much money. I didn't know if that was real or not.
It's still a basketball school, so yeah.
And so Sumrall would be a candidate there, but. If he had a choice, I mean, unless Kentucky was like, we want an answer now or we're leaving. And he's like, okay. I mean, other than that, if Sumrall's your guy, we'll wait and see. In what world do you not land him?
Well, the thing that's interesting with Sumrall is I've heard him linked to Auburn from national guys for the last month or more. So to me, that tells me that there has been some links there established through back channels just back whenever. But I just feel like there's already some sort of relationship there with some people that matter. So I think that is the name to watch early on in this process, and we'll see if something changes. It is just a couple hours into it.
Who's beeping?
Sorry.
So Durkin's going to be taking over, and I think he's going to make some changes, some substantive changes on the offensive side of the ball. He kind of has to. You can't just roll out there and say, "Yeah, we'll just re-rack it." It's been working fine. Let's go with that. People in the chat
he could. He very well could. I think if you make a change, it's got to be like, I don't know. It's weird because Freeze was the play caller. So in this situation, normally you'd be like, I'm going to fire the OC. Well, you just did. So to me, to fire anybody else, not that like they shouldn't be like after the season, but to do it now would be if somebody was such a Freeze loyalist that you're like, he's pissed and he's going to be a problem, or he's, I don't know, or you're just Durkin if you're like so fundamentally and philosophically opposed to this person that you're like, if I ever got the job, this dude would never coach on my team.
Right. Maybe you just want to win by running the ball, playing good special teams, and playing great defense.
They can't behind what? Behind that offensive line?
They definitely can't pass pro behind that offensive line right now. That's for sure.
Jake Thornton before I fired Hugh Freeze.
This comment here on the front, it's BB3LK says, "Am I the only one thinking about Fran Brown? I put him on the hot board, as the last place guy because they're 3-6 right now at Syracuse, and
that's tough.
That's not a sexy look.
Tough.
No, I wouldn't love that hire. I would not like that.
But Fran Brown's a badass, and if it was like it was last year when they were kind of one of the darlings of the scene, it would be a much different conversation. He's a great recruiter. I think he would play really good at Auburn. He's got the Georgia connection where he was an important part of their rise. I really like Fran Brown, but it's almost certainly not going to be Fran Brown.
Right.
So, yeah, you kind of are on your own thinking it could be him. Marcus Freeman.
And you had Kenny Dillingham. I mean, Kenny Dillingham's a name we've heard. There's the Auburn connection. He was here in 2019 as the quarterback coach with Bo as a freshman. Malzahn called plays that year. But Dillingham, man, that one seems like there's a lot more dynamics. He's an Arizona State guy. He lives in the same neighborhood as his parents, and his whole family's in the same neighborhood.
Yeah,
I don't really know the likelihood of that happening. I get the name. His name will pop up other places, but I'm not sure that you're convincing him to even leave.
No, I'm with you. I don't think he's a good fit out here. I don't care where it was, Auburn or South Carolina or Tennessee. It doesn't matter. I think he's where he needs to be. And I'm not sure how awesome he is, really. I mean, they've regressed some this year. I don't know.
Yeah, I like him. They've regressed a little bit. You got a really good quarterback there, obviously. But yeah. I mean,
good question here, Hoke, from My Piss Too Strong. Says, what happens with Kenyatta Watson after this firing? Kenyatta's kind of an interesting case because he's very useful, but he's not really offense or defense, so you can't blame that.
What happens? Wait, what do we mean?
I mean,
is he like an integral part of this thing, or
he just continues recruiting and does that thing, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to wish him nothing but the best. I don't know how y'all feel about it.
Whatever it takes. I got.
I don't know. I'd be asking what happens with Will. I'd be more worried about Will Redmond. Not worried, but like that would be my question.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the guy. I'd be like, hey, we're keeping Will Redmond, right? I wouldn't be like,
right.
We're keeping Kenyatta, right? I'd be like, we're keeping Will Redmond, which now with the change, I don't know, but I was under the understanding that there's no reason he wasn't. In fact, I was hearing stuff about him potentially even getting a promotion and them going out and hiring another GM. Now who knows what they'll do? I know they talked to other GMs this year. People on Auburn staff have talked to other GMs, where Will Redmond potentially could have had even more responsibility. I know that Hugh left a lot up to Will Redmond. Like, he did say, you do it. You come to me if you need to have those conversations or whatever, but like, you manage the roster, obviously, whatever. But that's the guy you want to keep. And if you had Durkin, I don't see why he's not. Like, they like Auburn. So I feel like it would be fumbling the bag if somehow you let him leave, no matter if it was Durkin or Sumrall or whoever.
Well, it's a new dynamic because you have these giant staffs now, and not all of them necessarily work with the head coach, right? The personnel guys, and I mean they do, but they don't have to, right? You can have this in place for the next head coach to come in if he wants to make a couple of changes here and there, yes. But you can already have this established group of analysts and personnel people ready to go day one for the new coach. And I just don't see Auburn hiring a new coach and him having to hire 40 new coaches. That just seems crazy. He's got to hit the ground running in the portal and doing all the other things that go through it. So I just think a lot of guys will have a chance to be retained and returned if they feel like they're doing a good job.
Yeah. What is this comment? What? Oh, is he joking? Is that the Stein one? Oh, yeah. I don't know. Somebody wrote Bobo in the chat. What are we doing?
He just got fired by South Carolina.
Oh, no, Shula. You're thinking of Mike Shula.
Yeah, that's right. But Bobo's at Georgia. He's doing good. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's bring Mike Bobo back. Can Bo Nix come back with him? What are some other questions we got going on? Overrode Redmond's. All right. Stewart says, speaking of Redmond, any truth to the rumor that Hugh overrode Redmond's analysis decision to bring Jackson Arnold in? Probably.
I mean, I would believe that rumor. I would absolutely 100% believe that rumor because I think that's one of his flaws.
I have reason to believe that. I have reason to believe that rumor. Like I've had conversations with people over the last few months that would lead me to believe. First of all, going all the way back, Hugh definitely wanted Jackson Arnold. That was the guy that he decided of the people we can get. Like now, they tried to entice Marcel Reed in. They tried to entice Lenoris Sellers in. They tried to entice Cabe Klubnik in. Who else? They tried to entice some dudes in, but of the guys who actually entered, Jackson was like the guy. He was like, I think that guy. And it's why all spring in all season, if you go back and look at what Freeze said every time he's asked about Jackson Arnold, he wasn't Gatorade Player of the Year for nothing. He was 5-star. He was McDonald's, whatever. He said the same thing. And I started to be like, are you trying to sell us? Like, are you trying to make sure that we are sold like you're sold? Because it was the same pitch over and over and over again. And it began to feel like you're pitching me to believe what you think. Yeah. It was odd. So 100% Jackson was his guy. And I do think there is truth to Will Redmond and maybe others not exactly being on board with Jackson Arnold.
Yeah, it's pretty clear if you look at Auburn's talent that the one room that really has not lived up to its numbers or stars or whatever is the quarterback room. And Hugh Freeze is the ones picking those fellas.
Yeah. And Ashton didn't look great. Now I will say Hugh got talked into Peyton Thorne. That was one that was down the line. They missed on some guys. If you go, but God, that was so long ago. Yeah. That was when they tried to get a dude from Coastal, but the academics was an issue.
And Grace McCall.
Yeah, there's some others. And so like Peyton was kind of like, all right, we've tried, we've missed. We need a guy, and you got Peyton Thorne. But I do know that Ken Austin very much convinced Hugh Freeze that Peyton Thorne needed to be the guy. So that was where Freeze ultimately had to sign off. But he was way more in gung-ho for Jackson Arnold than he was for Peyton Thorne. Braden Jenkins says, what about Ryan Grubb? I had this conversation a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I mean, I don't know a ton about him other than he's clearly a damn good offensive coordinator. But what Ryan Grubb, Brian Hartline, I could get behind those. Yeah.
I think it's going to be hard to sell Auburn folks on another offensive guy running the program. I'm not sure you should make a hiring decision based on reaction to the last coach. I think that's a mistake, but boy, it's been a string of offensive gurus that turn into offensive duds when they get to
Auburn. There have been a couple, yes. Just nobody with a visor, Brian. That's the key.
Yeah.
He's no visor. But Ryan Grubb's awesome. But like Brian Hartline's been doing it for a while. You want to talk about earlier? We were talking about like the assistant who's going to bring the DNA of a big time program. Whatever, like that feels like that'd be Brian Hartline.
Right.
Like, and he's maybe the best recruiter in college football for like the past decade. It feels like. I mean, that guy. I don't know if he'd do it, but him or Ryan Grubb. If you told me that was Auburn's number one guy, I wouldn't be completely opposed to that at all. I really wouldn't.
Damn,
I wouldn't.
Hartline only 38 years old.
I'm not saying he's leaving Bama. We're just talking about fit at Auburn.
Yeah. I want a tough guy. I want Pat Dye.
Literally?
Well, yeah, he's probably a little older now, but I want a tough guy. I want a country, strong, tough guy that's been coaching at some really good programs. That's what I want.
Man. Oh my gosh.
I know.
I kind of do. I kind of do too. To be honest with you, I do.
I'm not saying I don't. I'm not saying I don't. It's just that's exactly what I feel like what we've heard from Auburn fans last. Like every time there's an opening, it's like, God, we need just an in your face. And they're like, here's Bryan Harsin.
We got Bryan Harsin, who's a Metro. We got Hugh Freeze, who's a young life counselor, masquerading as a retired football coach. Let's get a badass. Like someone who can lift weights, and I know Harsin can do that, but somebody actually.
Hugh Freeze is going to crush it at. Never mind, I'm not going to say it.
At the Young Life meeting on Tuesday night.
I know.
At First Presbyterian. Yeah,
I know people that know. Like I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going there. Sort of along those lines. All right. What other questions we
have? Let's see. Anvil Destroyer says, about a defensive guy, Dave Aranda.
Oh God, no.
See, Smitty's thinking Marcus Freeman, that Auburn's going to hire the Notre Dame coach. Okay,
got to come up with about 20 million to do that.
Jet says we've been searching for Pat Dye since '92. Jay, we need that, but who is that? I just get a tough guy. I'm not saying for me, tough guy is Key, Sumrall, or Golesh.
Hey, look at Elko. There's nothing flashy about Mike Elko. I mean, I didn't know a ton about him. They hired him. I'm like,
do we like him? Do we think he's good?
I'm saying to your point, there is a toughness that he is about, and there is a toughness that Texas A&M is about 100%. That's Elko. I mean, that dude's a defensive guy. He's tough, and that team is tough, mentally and physically.
Stewart Videos talks about John Gruden, whose name comes up a lot in these chats, and as a former, I'm a Raiders fan. He's a former Raiders coach twice. No. What makes you think he would be good here? Bob Chesney, who's the coach at JMU, is that right? Or is it Coastal Carolina? He's somewhere in one of those smaller schools.
Here's the good news.
Good coach.
I think it's good news. I haven't seen. Now, granted, we're on our message board. I feel like it's the vocal minority, but I think it is fairly representative. And even of what I've seen on social media, whatever, I feel like there's pretty good consensus on we'd be happy with Durkin, right? Is that fair? Like if Auburn hired Durkin, don't you think the consensus from Auburn fans would be like, okay, like, or do you think it'd be split or like?
I need to see what he can do here. I hate to put 3 games on him because it's not a lot of work, but hey, if he comes in here and makes some changes to the offense and they turn out to be okay-ish, like, yeah, I'm on board.
I think it would be split based on his record.
No, I don't. I think it can be done. I really think that can be done, Justin.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they got to be good. Just don't suck ass every time out.
Have a pulse. I mean, have a pulse.
Have a pulse. Yeah. That's it. That's all we're asking.
The bar is low. What's that meme? Like our expectations were low, but holy.
We were never thinking 3 points against Kentucky at home in the night game.
Well, I was just saying that because I was thinking about this coaching search going, whatever. That's my opinion. My opinion is that I think you could do a lot worse than DJ Durkin. He's on staff. Like, so I'm looking at this going, how could this go really, really poorly? And I'm going, well, I don't think Durkin's a bad hire. And if he's on staff now, then I feel like this should either you're going to get your guy, and maybe it's Durkin, but let's say it's Sumrall. Let's say you miss on Sumrall and you miss on Drinkwitz for whatever reasons. If your backup plan is like, okay, then let's go with Durkin. It could be worse. I don't know.
It could be worse.
I don't think it's out of the question that a new coach could retain Durkin as his DC. Money talks, and I wouldn't totally rule that out.
Totally true. Totally true. I mean, I've posted on the board a few times, by the way, and I do know this is a fact. His family very much likes Auburn. They're literally finishing a house right now. They don't want to go, but I mean, we'll see what happens. But you know who it is, you know, like whether he thinks he can coach with the guy, whatever it might be. But yeah, if Auburn wins the last 3 games somehow, by the way, this puts to end the. I mean, I think this shows us at least that there's not like some Cohen doesn't hate Durkin. I mean, Durkin's got his chance. Durkin could go 3-0, and then it'd be a hell of a case to hire him. How do you not give up to Durkin? If Durkin goes 3-0, how do you not give him the job? Well, I mean, Cohen doesn't strike me as somebody that Durkin would go 3-0 and he'd go and get enamored with that. Now you could get maybe you could get more support behind the scenes, some booster support. Maybe you get more of those people go, oh, we got to keep this guy. But Cohen seems fairly measured, that I don't think he'd get caught up in the emotion of like, oh, we went 3-0. We got to give him the guy. Like he might go, that's great, but we're still going to go another direction.
And this decision may already be made before that game's even played, right? Not officially.
Yeah.
But
true.
I mean, everything may be done except for signing the papers before Auburn plays, Alabama in the Iron Bowl.
What's this question? What can we realistically expect to be different on offense the rest of the year? This philosophy is broken. Yeah. Does Kent or Nix have the ability to do anything different? No.
Yeah, that's what would really concern me. Although maybe those guys have different ideas than Freeze, but they're his dudes. He brought them here, so it makes me think that if you want to do something different, you're going to have to find somebody else on staff to do it. But we'll see. But you look at that offense, and I think there's a lot of stuff that could be done different because that offense is pathetic. It's one of the worst in the country, and certainly there are ways you can do some little simple things to fix it.
Yeah,
boy.
Again, the threshold is not high, Hoke.
Right.
I mean, I'll give Cadillac and Will Friend credit, because I'll give them credit. They didn't have a lot to work with at the end of 22, and they just said, all right, we got a running quarterback, we got a pretty good running back. We're just going to run the ball as much as we can. And there was a little bit of success. Like they at least tried. Like that could have gone a lot worse. I kind of like what they did, but I don't know what you do. The offense is terrible. Yeah, it's like the bar is so low, but it's an RPO. What are you going to do? What are you going to do differently? I mean, other than be like, you could just call nothing but verticals, but no, we're throwing the ball downfield. That's all I'm calling. You have no choice.
Well, I'll tell you what style I'd like to not see. It'd be RPO. I'm done with RPO.
I would throw that in the trash. First thing I did if I'm DJ Durkin.
Do something else.
It's
just throw it away.
Yeah, RPO is just 10 years ago when it's brand new and all that. I also think I had a conversation the other day, like that offense, not just the offense and people getting up to speed with that offense, but I started thinking more about Hugh Freeze and his lack of attention to detail and just how inefficient he is as a coach and how that translates. But then take that into account in this new day of college football with new clock rules and with defenses adjusting, drives per game has decreased. Like you don't get as many chances as you did 10 years ago. So then you have a still inefficient coach, a still inefficient play caller who thinks that he should get 14 drives a game. Like, that's what he needs. He needs all the drives because he's not efficient. So how many times over the last 2 years did we hear Freeze say, well, we only had the ball like 4 times, or we only had the ball this many times. Like, dude, you had pretty much the same amount of drives as the other team. Like it's you're going back and forth here, but all the time he would say, well, we only had X many drives. And it kind of hit me like you had the clock rules change. You had some stuff change where drives per game went down. And then you have an inefficient coach who's not attention to detail. And I'm like, yeah, he needs all those drives because he's gonna screw some of them up. He needs like more chances, and he's not getting as many. And the offense is, the points and the yards and all that stuff suffers.
And I'm reading this release again from Cohen. It's what was not said was pretty impressive.
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah, he appreciates his investment in Auburn and his relentless work ethic, bolstering the roster at the end.
And even that's debatable.
I mean, you can't thank him for winning games. You certainly can't do that.
Well, and you have to be real specific about relentless work ethic.
And a man of integrity, I would agree with that because he's doing everything he can to avoid not lose. He doesn't want to lose some of his buyout over problems.
All right, Michael's saying lack of detail. What I just mean by that is, and I talked about this on the corner last year. We had middle of the year last year on the corner was just toxic. I mean, I was trying to explain why Peyton Thorne was not the problem, or not all the problem, and while there were a bunch of issues going on, and then you had the Freeze people that were in his camp that are awfully quiet now, or they've changed their tune. There were a lot of them around last year that was all Peyton Thorne's fault. And it was everybody else's fault. And Hugh Freeze is just the man. Just give him a little bit of time, give him a little bit of talent. All those water carriers, and they're nowhere to be seen.
Carriers.
The lack of detail stuff really goes back to last year, and I've talked about it a ton, which is Freeze is the primary play caller. Yet, in meetings during weeks, he's constantly not in the meetings. He's not in the quarterback meetings. He's not in all the offensive meetings. This is going back to last year. So you have meetings that are going on between whatever, Thornton and Nix and whatever, and Freeze is not there. And then you have a quarterback meeting, and he's not there. And then it just pops up, and he's going to call the plays on Saturday. Yeah. And you're like, all right, but there's like all of these things that have been discussed in private in these meetings that you weren't a part of. So unless somebody recorded that and you listen to every second and you're up to date on every single thing said, then if you show up to call plays Saturday, there is going to be a disconnect at times. And there was the Georgia game last year is a perfect example. And I talked about it in detail when it happened. Whatever that was, third or fourth one, where it was just clusterfuck of a play and around midfield, whatever that was. That play, Peyton Thorne, Jake Thornton, and Kent Austin went over that exact look in practice that week. Like, if we get this, if we run this play and Georgia does this thing, we're going to do this. You know who was not in that meeting? Hugh Freeze. So when they ran the play on Saturday, Hugh called the play. Well, Peyton is going, this is the look we talked about. I need to change the protection. Whatever Peyton did, he did based on the conversation they had.
Yep.
Then you saw it went to shit. Freeze lost his mind on the sideline, right? Well, because Freeze wasn't in the meeting where they were all in agreement of what they should do. Then Freeze comes out after the game and he's like, it's on the quarterback. Then what happened? Monday, all of a sudden Freeze is like, well, it was kind of, he toned it down, he softened it. That's a perfect example of He wasn't in a meeting, things were talked about. He then called a play expecting something to happen, but he was the only one that wasn't aware that they had already sort of talked about what might happen. That's just, to me, I know that happened, but that was a perfect example of stuff falling through the cracks. And I just know a lot of stuff about how he prepared the offense last year. And he's just not a details guy. He's just not a details guy.
Let me give you another similar example. So last night, I asked him, last question at the press conference, I asked him, why is the offense and the offensive staff being held to the same standards, the same attention to detail as the defense? And he said, we discussed that the last 3 weeks, and I assure you it's something I know for a fact has been elevated and demanded, and it's just not showing up on the field right now. Very nice. So I find out that Freeze said that was the best question of the press conference, which tells me he thought I was asking about his assistants on his staff instead of asking directly about him and his coaching.
What?
It's just a complete disconnect. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard your question, and I thought it was true. And I thought the most interesting part. Yeah, okay. So he answered it thinking a different way. Well, then I don't really have an opinion. Then I thought that when
but
he
you
said,
knew what I was asking when I asked it, right?
I did.
Yes.
I don't think then apparently he didn't. But I thought when he said elevated, I thought that was actually him admitting, because to elevate means that it was not at that level before. So I thought it was him going, we have tried harder to match that. We have tried harder or whatever. But I just, come on, man. Like, this is why the golf stuff is stupid to talk about, but it's also not stupid to talk about, because it goes directly to like where his head is at, which is like, I'll do practice, but like I want to get out of here on time because I gotta like the Baylor game. He played golf in Waco. People, Texas A&M. He played golf on Wednesday and Thursday before they flew out. Like that's fine if you're doing everything great, but when you're like practice is done, boom, we done here. I got a tee time at noon. I got to get this in before we leave for College Station. Think about that. Your team is losing games. You have the A&M week. If you played golf twice, that's 4 hours. You got there early. You probably had a drink afterwards. Let's call it 6 hours every time you did that. That's 12 hours just leading into Texas A&M where you were playing golf instead of watching film, like scouting, thinking of anything else you can do to create a first down, a third down conversion. 0 third down conversions at Texas A&M. None. You could have given up one of those rounds of golf and figured out a third down conversion, maybe.
Yep.
2. Like that just is, he is who he is, man. And I know after that game, was the bye week after that game? I do know that like administration finally came to him and was like, listen, golf's got to stop. Like that actually happened. They were like, you're not playing golf the off week. They told him that. You're not playing golf the off week. And he sat and he watched football during the off week. And they're like, right. Watch football, man. Watch football. Take some notes.
He came up with a bunch of good ideas.
Take some notes, you know? So it's like, yeah. But it didn't really happen until before then. I mean, Cohen was out there playing golf with Freeze plenty. So,
Yep. One offensive touchdown against the 2 worst defenses in the SEC back-to-back games.
Unbelievable.
How is that possible?
What? Did you just name a really bad stat? What was it?
1 touchdown in 8 quarters against the 2 worst defenses in the SEC in back-to-back games.
In 8 quarters.
Oh,
yeah.
You did.
Yep. Arkansas, Kentucky.
Sorry,
back-to-back, 1 offensive touchdown.
Very first drive. Ashton scored no offensive touchdowns in his 5 quarters. It just doesn't get any worse than that, man. And it's why I was worried going to the Kentucky game. I was like, I'm more worried about the quarterback situation than the Arkansas game. I'm more worried. Even though everybody's like, all right, we're going to go to Ashton. I was like, no, I'm actually more because I don't know much about Ashton and he probably isn't that confident. Jackson's confidence shot. I'm like, I feel worried. I actually was like, and yet I still picked him to win. I don't know.
I did too. I hate myself for doing that. I have regrets.
so many. So you're saying Hugh should be able to fix the hook I have with my driver? I know he's a pretty good golfer. He's a pretty good. The good thing is, I guess, like I don't hear bad stories about the culture, although probably a good thing to make that move because I did hear that there were some issues after last night's game.
Yeah.
You're like boiling point type stuff. And so like the culture, I don't think is bad. I guess that's kind of why I go back to Durkin a little bit. I don't think the culture's bad. I think there's some good kids there. I think there's good staff, like recruiting. There's commitment to NIL. There are people that want to be a part of NIL. It's not like you got a broken machine here. You just had the wrong guy running it. Like there's the right guy. And this thing is, I think the right guy, keep Will Redmond. And I think you're humming pretty quickly. You don't even have to retain the whole roster. Some guys leave. So be it. Get the right guy, retain Will Redmond, and I think things will kind of be back humming pretty quick in terms of trying to get that roster talent.
I hope so because I'm sick of covering shitty teams. I really am. Really sick of it.
It's ever since I left for a minute, came back, and it has just been a shit show.
Yep. Over
here. I regret it. I'm like, I feel like that meme with Homer Simpson pops out from the bushes and then goes back in. I feel like that's me. I want to be like, I'm back out of here. Anything else that you want to hit on before we go?
We got another I don't know what it's called, but a super something.
Super chat.
Super chat. Yeah.
Where does $5 go? To Zach?
What is with the national writers dunking on Auburn? That's nothing new. Chris Lowe on X calling us buyout you and saying we are worse than LSU and Archie in that regard. that may be actually accurate. But although Justin brought up some points earlier about how if you're paying out a coach that money he was already going to make, does that count really as a buyout?
$52.5 million over 7 seasons. Yeah. I mean, Auburn has been, nationally buyout you in a lot of ways, right? So I don't really call it dunking on. I don't know how y'all feel, but I don't think it's really dunking on Auburn. It just is what it is.
Yeah, and
I know. And by the way,
good.
It shouldn't be Auburn. If you're an Auburn fan, don't take that personally. You didn't make that decision. You didn't hire that coach. You didn't make that crate. You're not Stephen Leith. You're not that moron. So I would join in with Chris Lowe and be like, yeah, those guys do suck, Chris. We agree as Auburn fans, they do suck. I'm not them. I don't know, wherever Stephen. This all started with Stephen Leith.
2019 Gus contract.
Yep. It's got to end somewhere. I don't know how it ends, but yeah, I don't know. Hugh Freeze. Do you think people would have wanted to fire Hugh Freeze earlier if they knew that he called the 4th and 31 defensive game plan?
Here we go.
I think I know how it ends. I think I do.
Here we go.
It's Jon Sumrall wearing Pat Dye's pants at his opening press conference, being announced as Auburn's head coach. That's where this ends. That's the only way it can end.
And then Alex Golesh brings in the lost wallet, wet.
Yeah.
And announces he'll be the coordinator. Yes, that will be perfect.
Yeah. Ron Roberts was not pleased about that. Yeah, Stephen Leith, you suck. Josh Aldridge has a great deed. East Carolina. I do love Josh personally.
Yeah.
Great family.
He has a toughness that I like.
Great family. Yeah. What how do we leave here? What do we leave here? Is there a takeaway? Join auburnsports.com for $1. That's your takeaway.
Yep.
That's an easy one. Got to do that.
What else? So we got 3 games left. Durkin's the interim. Obviously, do we think this is going to be? Do we expect a lot of movement in the hot board type stuff, or we feel like it's going to be like, all right, here's your names, and now we'll just sort of take a step back, let things play out for a few weeks, because these guys are all coaching right now. So
yeah, there's a long way to go. This is going to be the longest search in a while, right? I mean, the longest ever was October 23rd, 1998, and went to the end of the season.
Harsin was fired right before Halloween, right? I mean,
you're right.
He was fired on Halloween.
Halloween, that's right.
Yep, sure was. Wow. Yep.
So similar.
Yeah, and that felt like a marathon then too. Jeez.
This one,
but that was wrapped up the morning of the Iron Bowl, right? Wasn't that when Hugh Freeze got out that Hugh Freeze was going to be Auburn's head coach? I remember it because I was in line to go into Bryant-Denny Stadium, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, like when that broke? I don't remember when that broke. I remember Auburn lost to Arkansas, and then they fired Harsin on Monday. But after that, I don't know about Yeah, you're right. I mean, this feels the only reason this might hopefully I don't know, the playoff. If you're going after playoff coach, if you're not going after a playoff coach, I'm hoping this doesn't go on as long, because I felt like Harsin was that he didn't even get through 2 years, right? So like that was like we didn't have a lead up. I mean, it felt like it was like Harsin. It was like lost, boom, you're fired. I don't know. I felt like we've been talking about this right here for a year. We've been talking about this like it's Freeze the guy since last fall. So there should have been plenty of thought and research and conversations done. Cohen should be sitting here right now going, I don't even have there's no here. I mean, he should know exactly who he should want, what the chances are, money. Like this should not be some all right, where do we go from here? I mean, so
that's why I think Sumrall could just be a straight line with him. Not saying it will be, but I think it could be.
For sure. And I think I think you mentioned it earlier. Certainly unofficially, Auburn's talked with his people. That's happened. Officially, obviously it hasn't, but that seems like that's the one. That's probably the one that everybody's probably the most pumped about. I think everybody be like, nice hire. That'd win you the press conference. That'd win you a lot. I think if you're Cohen. Harsin refused to recruit. That's putting it kindly.
Yeah.
Tuberville might want Durkin. Does he have a say?
No.
The Louisiana governor has a say apparently, so we'll see.
Stubbs is just the governor right now. Man, that would be electric.
If he was, yeah. When is that? Is that soon? I haven't been keeping up. I don't know. Meemaw, who would Meemaw pick? That was a post on the board here a few days ago.
Yeah, that was funny. Meemaw.
Oh, all right. Well, we can roll. I mean, I think we
All right.
talked about a lot. There's nothing else. We got all the news up. Go to auburnsports.com. Plenty of good stuff there. We'll update the hot board as we need to. Next up, we'll kind of just see who's going to call plays. It's probably the next newsy thing that even starts to matter. Hoke, will you tell the 4th and 31 story? I already told you. Hugh Freeze called the defensive play. Story over. The end.
The end.
Ron wanted to do blitz, and Hugh didn't. There's your story. Yeah. Caddy. Come on, guys.
Come on.
Okay.
Nope.
All right, we'll see you guys on the boards. Yeah, I guess we'll be everybody will be at the press conference on Monday for DJ Durkin, and he will talk a million miles an hour.
Yeah, fun transcriptions on that.
We'll have the
Enjoy that,
transcript
B-Matt.
to you on Wednesday. He talks a lot.
Yeah, fast. Talks fast.
Talks fast. All right, let's get out of here. See you guys.